Hey crew, I've got the key to this BMW X3 M40i. We are going to take it for a drive, but first, let's check out how it looks on the inside and outside. All 22 model year X3s get a refreshed exterior and interior. This M Sport has resculpted lower bumpers to mirror the new 2 Series. You get functional corner vents and a channel here to the heat exchanger. This one with the Shadowline Package blacks out details like the new and larger grille inserts. At least they retain that kidney shape. Their updated LED DRLs with notches in them, looking cool. This one is painted in carbon black metallic, and I'm not seeing as much black as I am midnight blue. I like the color. The wheels are optional 20-inch M Sports, and I don't mind them, they just don't really do anything for me. They're also wrapped in Bridgestone Alenza all-season run flat tires. Not the highest performance, 245 section front, 275s in the rear. All M Sports get upgraded brakes with red painted calipers. We have the new M style door mirrors with the channel for air to flow. The Shadowline brings blacked out window trim and blacked out roof rails. Stepping back to look at the profile, this has not changed for 22, so you still have that cab rearward design with a longer hood. Does look good. And at the rear, we have some of the coolest taillights on any modern car. Seriously, this pincer design with that strong 3D visual looks incredible, especially at night. There's a subtle roof-mounted spoiler. Fake vents, don't love that. Blacked out lower portion with twin blacked out exhaust ports. That looks so cool. Okay, so the exterior of the new refreshed X3, it's not quite as ravishing as that GV70, but that doesn't mean it doesn't look good. Let's check out that interior. Opening up and looking inside at the Mocha Vernasca Leather seats with sporty looking inserts. Adjust the seat back angle with that tab there. We have optional high gloss carbon fiber trim that looks great. You can even see some of the ambient lighting here during the day. Black leather on that mocha colored leather. Well padded armrest. One touch up down windows. Hard plastics down low, but good sized door pockets. And the door opening is nice and wide, so you can just walk back into the rear seats. Sitting behind my own seating position at 6 feet tall, I have sufficient knee room. I don't like that that's plastic. Good sized foot pockets to slide your feet under. Thigh support is okay. The high floor kind of pitches up the knee angle. There's a standard third zone of climate control and rear heated seats with the premium package. You have 2 USB-C ports above the somewhat prominent drive shaft hump, but I can fit in the middle seat with the seat back angle all the way up, and I have headroom. Yes, headroom. And that means that full-size adults can fit in all 3 of these back seats and appreciate the glass panoramic roof that's standard. There's a reassuring thud to that door close. Up front, heated power adjusting seats, including power adjusting side bolsters, manual thigh support, 4-way lumbar, get your M Sport tread plates, big door pockets, it passes the big bottle test, 4 one-touch windows, power folding door mirrors, more of that high gloss carbon fiber here, 2 position memory seats, power trunk release. It does pop up pretty quickly to reveal a segment leading 29 cubic feet of space behind the 40-20-40 split folding rear seats. Only problem with these, there are no levers to release the seats. You have to reach in, press on the tabs, and push the seats forward. That will be hard for shorter folks. There's a cargo cover, some storage under the floor, adjusting tie-down points, a DC outlet, and a power close and lock feature on the tailgate. Sliding inside, we find the updated Live Cockpit Pro digital instrument cluster, thickly padded steering wheel, I mean really thick. The M tricolor stitched on the inside, heated steering wheel as part of the premium package, kind of dinky feeling paddles. There's a head-up display, part of the premium package, standard 12-inch touchscreen infotainment, super responsive, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Under the sliding cover, we find some storage for your phone or sunglasses, 2 cup holders, DC outlet, USB-A ports. There's a USB-C port in the console. Your iDrive controller, very familiar, as a redundancy to touching the screen or using the voice commands. A more easy to use gear selector here compared to the predecessor. Visibility is fantastic. I really like this cabin quite a bit. But let's take it for a drive. All right, let's fire it up. Flump. Followed by the classic BMW chimes. We're going to be starting things off in comfort drive mode. You hit that button here. And there's only one setting for comfort, unlike, here I'll just show you sport. We've got standard, plus, and individual. Eco Pro, we also have standard and individual. So comfort, we just have comfort. And that's the way it should be. If you want a comfortable drive, you just have comfort. And then we press in on the side and push forward on the gear selector to move into reverse. This is way better than the 21s, all those different settings you could do on the actual selector. Let's keep it simple. That prompts a standard high-resolution backup camera with trajectory lines. This vehicle does not have the optional parking package where you get that 360 view and you can kind of pan around it, which is really cool. And it doesn't have the automatic backup assist where it'll do all the steering for you. Those are nice things. They're not fully necessary. You just have a good backup camera. And as usual, we will start with a turning radius test. Let's see what he got, X3. Ooh, that is a mighty fine turning radius. Had plenty of margin. Some bumps. Bump, bump. Not too shabby. And we will do the horn in just a moment. Here it goes. A little higher pitched. That sounds like a horn that would really carry the sound. Everyone should know, way off in the distance, that something's upsetting this X3. Powertrain in the M40i. We have a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder single turbo motor. It makes 382 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. That is the same as the 21 model year. It is sent through a ZF 8-speed automatic gearbox to all 4 wheels. It's a variable all-wheel drive system. Kind of splits the power based on drive mode. And here in comfort mode, the throttle response is just perfect. Like, it's not fully dead, but the tip in is really gradual, yet the appropriate measure of foot down brings the right responsiveness from that engine. That is just a peach. It's super smooth. Really not any defined turbo lag as well. The brakes are easy to modulate, not too grabby, but you have that nice bite up front. The ride quality, so these are adaptive dampers as standard in the X3 M40i, is good. It kind of filters out the harshness of the road, but you still get the bumps and undulations into the cabin. Doesn't let you forget it's the sportier side of the X3 equation. It's not harsh. It's just a tad bumpy. Cabin is very quiet at these speeds. Don't have to do a lot to the steering to keep it pointed straight. It's shaping up to be a good daily, that's for sure. But now we do need to test out the performance to some degree. So I'm going to go into Sport Plus. I'm going to move the selector over to Manual/Sport, and then I'm going to hit the traction control button once to put us into Dynamic Traction Control. Sport, Dynamic, whatever you want to call it. Then I'm going to pull out my, from here, race box, so that we'll have a chance to see what the 0 to 60 time looks like. All right, with that ready to go, just hold my foot hard on the brake to activate launch control. It's active. Here we go. Woof. 4.43 seconds on all-season tires, all-season run-flat tires that are not even that warm. That is quick. Gosh, and it felt it. It just rocketed out of that hole. Jeez. That's impressive. Okay, traction control back on. I'm also going to drop it down to Sport Individual, which I've configured to be the softer damping settings and the not as resistant steering, but with peppier throttle response. And I don't know if you can hear it, but there's like a low burble from that exhaust with the overrun. This is a sweet sounding engine. It's refined. It's smooth. It's a sonorous note. And the sport throttle response is just right for daily driving. You have the urgency, but with the comfort suspension setting, it's more amenable to the daily commuting. This 8-speed automatic gearbox is just queued up perfectly to drop down when necessary, but then to lift the gears to improve the fuel economy. And the fuel economy is good in this SUV. It's actually the best of its competitors at 22 city, 29 highway, and 25 combined. It's actually a fair margin better than its main rivals. At higher speeds, the wind noise, there's more creep in of that wind at the window seams. The road noise stays subdued, even on these 20-inch wheels. How are those brakes though? From 58. Yes. Stopped in time. Now, the sharpness of the initial bite that I was feeling before just around town dulled somewhat at a full depression of the pedal. However, the pedal itself never truly gave up. It stayed strong, gave you the confidence you were going to stop. There's just that very initial clamp down wasn't as assuring as it was just around town. The next test is going to be handling though, so I'm going to go back to Sport Plus. Then I'm going to turn traction control into the dynamic setting, and I'm going to attack this corner. Hard on the brakes, chuck it in. High riding sports car. That is what this is. Just rotated beautifully through that corner. The rear biased all-wheel drive system shining through. Quickly got on the power. That was fun. And the steering as well. In Sport Plus, you have a bit of extra resistance, and resistance is not exactly feel, but they've tuned the electronic steering rack to have some communication. You can kind of manhandle it a little bit. You can have your fun. How is the mid-range power? Click it down gears quickly. Stomp on it. Oh, there's plenty of it. Quick shifts. I really enjoy the flump every time from that exhaust on the upshift. great gearbox. Honestly, my only complaint is that these paddles, as I said in the interior review portion, are a little cheap feeling. They're not small, but they just don't have that tactile pleasure. All right, so back into drive, back into comfort, traction on. How does it cruise on the highway? Well, we are missing out on some of the options like the adaptive cruise control system and steering assist system, but we do have as standard a lane keep assist feature and your basic cruise control. So I'll show you how the lane keep assist feature works. I'm just going to deviate from my lane just a touch, and we get some correction from the wheel. That works beautifully. I do think that the adaptive cruise control system should be standard. At this price point, when, like mass market cars are bundling all of that driver assistance technology as standard, you just have to wonder why the luxury automakers are holding back. And you don't want to know the answer. It's probably just a little bit of extra money. We do have standard blind spot monitoring, though. That's very good. Now, while I'm thinking of it, if you want to hear what the standard sound system sounds like in the X3 M40i, you're going to want to watch my POV night drive. I give you a full demonstration of that. But I can show you the windshield wipers in case you're curious, so let's do that. Yeah, they cleaned the windshield. And with all those bases covered, all we have left is to drop it into Eco Pro, standard. Feel that throttle response just dive. And talk about the competition. So the 22 BMW X3 M40i competes against vehicles like the Genesis GV70 3.5T Sport, the Audi SQ5, and the Mercedes-AMG GLC 43. The starting figure for this model right here is about $58,000 and some change. As tested, we're looking at just under $65,000. And among the options on this vehicle is one that I think really should be standard. That active M rear differential that helped us do some of the really fun shenanigans around that corner is really part of the DNA of what makes this X3 M40i so good. And I would say that don't consider the starting figure to be 58 whatever, consider it to be 60, because you should pay for that $1,300 active rear differential to just get the most out of this vehicle. Starting from least to most expensive, you got the GV70 3.5T. That one is $53,600. It makes 375 horsepower. It gets to 60 in 4.9 seconds. Top speed is 150 miles per hour compared to the 155 for the X3 M40i. And the fuel economy is 21 combined. In fact, all the vehicles I'm about to mention get 21 combined MPG, apart from the X3. Then there is the Audi SQ5. It starts at $57,100. It makes 354 horsepower. It gets to 60 in the slowest 5.1 seconds. And then we have the Mercedes-AMG GLC 43. That one is the most expensive at $63,000 to start. It makes the most power, barely, at 385 horsepower. Gets to 60 in the quickest 4.3 seconds. Here's why I would choose the X3 M40i. This is, by a pretty fair margin, the most driver-focused vehicle in this segment. You get the most out of the steering, you get the most out of the rear biased all-wheel drive system. It controls its body well. The engine is fluid, responsive, sonorous. It's just the driver's choice. However, I can fully understand why someone might go out and get that GV70. I loved that thing. The ride quality was better. I thought it looked better on the exterior. I thought it looked better on the interior. Certainly they don't do the high gloss black that BMW loves so much, and I really despise. There's a lot to love about the GV70, and I think you would be fully excused to go buy that. But if you want the most dynamic, athletic, sport luxury SUV, below that, segment of X3M, which the ride quality is just totally brittle, get this. I hope you guys have enjoyed this POV drive review. If you did, please like, comment, and share the video. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell to get notified. back to Sport Plus for some unnecessary acceleration. And I'll see you next time.